Hi and welcome everybody. I'm Sandy. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Canada, and I'm glad you've joined me. Did anyone else enjoy the snow last night as much as me? I say that with complete tongue-in-cheek. Anyone in, I don't know if it was all of Ontario, but definitely Southern Ontario, my goodness, we got hammered with a lot of snow. A lot of snow. Just trying to get my Facebook to cooperate, but no, it won't. Well, that's better. Oh, now I can hear myself. Okay, that should be good. Okay, so you can hear me. Let me know. I had to shut the sound off on my computer. I'm pretty sure you can hear me. And as you're joining, just let me know where you're from if you wish. No obligation. So I was really lucky to have a wonderful neighbor who gets up with the rooster, basically. I asked him, he said, I was up at 6. He was going to go skiing and instead spent an hour and a half snowblowing, which included my driveway, my sidewalk, my neighbor's sidewalk, plus his own. And then the plow came by. So then he came back and did the end of my driveway and the end of his driveway. That's a man. That's a man. That's a household that's getting a thank you card. I mean, I went over and said, thank you. Like from a distance, of course. Anyway, let's get to it. If you read my little teaser, practically perfect in every way, approaching perfection. This is a Sale-a-bration stamp set. And did you know that you can only get Sale-a-bration goodies to the end of this month? That's right, and then they're gone. Previous Sale-a-brations have gone for 3 months, but it's 2 months now. So we don't want you to forget that. Oh, good, you can hear me. Hi, Noella and Gail and Marcy and Tracy. I wonder if anyone got the second part of my. That was tricky. Like what paper we're using. Yeah, that was too tricky. Anyway, so I'm just going to flip the page here. So with Sale-a-bration, for example, well, why don't I just go to the one we're using? There it is. So this is free. With a $60 purchase, you earn this stamp set, for example, free, or this paper. So it's all in the catalog, and everything is in, you'll see it all on my blog. So there's a $60 level, and then when you continue on, there's a $120 level here where you get the stamp set and the paper, which I did demonstrate, yay. Or, oh, wrong way, or this beautiful stamp set called A Touch of Ink, which is a 2-step stamping. Looks really pretty. I don't have that one yet. So here's our stamp set. Like, how cute is that? I love the sayings on this. The bad news is I forgot your birthday. The good news is I forgot your age. My sister's going to get that one on her birthday card. And then, so what if you're a year older? You're fabulous. And you are. I have it tilted so hopefully you don't have too much glare. This is the one we're using tonight. If things really do get better with age, then you're approaching perfection. I like that. It's not, some people think that's cheeky. I don't. I think it's really sweet. You are approaching perfection. And then newsflash, birthdays found to be good for your health. Studies show that people who have more birthdays live the longest. Har har. Plus happy birthday, we're using that as well. You have these candles and the balloon, and we're going to use that too. Let's set that aside. Hey, hello B, welcome. Okay, oh my goodness, where to start first? Oh, I'm too excited. Okay, well, I'll show you the card, but you know we're going to change it. Okay, so this is the Field and Flower paper, and if you're wondering where are the flowers, on the opposite side of the paper. So one side has patterns, and the other one, well, it's all patterns, but one is patterns and the other is floral, which is really pretty. I don't know if you can see, I don't think you can, what the little trick is on this card. So there's something different, and it's a technique I've only tried, well, now I've tried it twice. And then the inside of the card. We're using some dies, and I will go over all that, and the measurements. That will all come in the video. So there's our card. So I'm going to set that aside, but not too far because I always need a reference as to how I made the card. So first things first, that card base. Now I'm still using Whisper White. We no longer have Whisper White. It's now a basic white. Basic white. That makes sense. So this is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. So it's half a piece of paper. And the bone folder is right here. And you know me, I don't like when my cards stand up like that. So what I like to do, and if you cannot, if you find, oh, I just can't do this, I cannot line this up this way, use your cutter. So the one way then is use your fingertips and then like that. Let me bring up the cutter because I'm going to need that tonight. So what I like to do, I'll see if I can, we'll try to get all this on. So there's a ridge right here. So I take, don't fall over, I take my paper and I push it so I know that both of these ends are touching. So the front and the back of the card. And then I can use this. Now you notice I don't use the point. And I don't do that. Mine always lays on a slant. And look at how flat that is now. That's what I like to see. Oh, and hello, Grace and Sherry. Oh, Sherry, you're not really late. I just started. I did. And we're going to make a really pretty card. Okay. So now I have a second piece. I'm going to give you the measurements, but we're going to change this. Just so you know, it is going to change. And my card keeps falling over. Stay. Currently, this piece is 5.5 by 4. So it's going to go top to bottom. But we have a little die cutting to do, which is why I can't give you the exact measurement. But this is where it started. So we need, and this is going to bring in some brightness, and I am sorry, I'm pretty sure this does not all fit on the screen. So first thing I'm going to do is open up the card. So this is the, my goodness, you don't hardly get to see any of that. It just caught up. I wonder if I turn it this way. I don't usually do it this way, but we can do it. Why not? Okay, so this is our Stampin' Cut and Emboss. Right here, it tells me what I need for die cutting. And so it makes it so much easier. It takes the guesswork out. The only thing is, I have 2 of these and one I can't find, so I'm using just some yucky old one that I've had for ages. And it will work. Okay, so I'm going to open up the card and grab the die. So this die is from the curvy dies. Makes sense because it's got a curve. Now, if you see here, this is the cutting edge. And I want to cut the paper pretty close to the end. Now this isn't magnetic, just so you know. And normally, if I was doing a layer on its own, I would put it through this direction, but I can't for a card that's already open. So I want the cutting edge. I always have to do this. I want the cutting edge to be right there, and I only want to take off a little bit. So I had a wee design flaw in my first card. I will show you that at the end. This is why we're making a layer. So, oh, stop. I tried to position it closer and then went and moved it all. Okay, cross your fingers, this works. Stay. All right, and through we go. And you just give it a wee push. Now you notice I don't have the plates lined up. I don't line up my plates. I find that it goes through much easier, except when you're using something straight like this that should really be on a, going through the other direction. You get that big yucky noise that nobody likes. Okay, and I did it wrong. Oh, for crying out Peteyville. Okay, well that one doesn't have an edge. You know, I said to myself, are you really doing this the right way? No. Okay, my friends, I gotta cut another piece of paper. I'm sorry. I had this all figured out, and then of course you go live and you mess it up. So off to the side here, I have my cutter, and I'm gonna cut my piece of paper at 5.5. Making sure I'm doing it right. 5.5. And we also have the score, and I'm gonna score it at 4 1/4. I could have just done that right off the bat, but nope. Oh, okay, there we go. I like to go over it a couple times. I don't really think you have to, but I just do. If I was using really thin paper, I would not do that. Okay, so I'm just going to line this up using my fingertips this time, so you can see the difference. It should be even, but it isn't. So I'm just going to fix that. And let's not do that again with the card. This is what makes your videos really long. All right, one more time. Cutter edge is here. I did it the wrong way. I totally did it the wrong way. And I do need to poke out these little holes. So, or these little, see the little white bits? I'm going to poke those out. So it's going to make, I always get these teeny little polka dots, but this is the Take Your Pick tool. Works perfectly for this. And you never want to like not clean out these. If you get a buildup, then it's not going to cut, and then you're not going to be happy. And I promise to cut it the right way. And you can always see which ones you haven't done because you can't see through them. I cannot see light on the other side. A couple more. I hope everyone had a lovely Valentine's. Did you do anything special? I didn't, but I did enjoy some of my daughter's chocolates on Monday. Delightful. And no, I did not go out after the fact. I suppose I could order it online, but I did not go out after to get 50 or 75% off chocolate. I don't consider that to be essential. Okay, so cutting edge goes on this side. That's what I did wrong the first time. Okay, let's do that again. I double and triple check everything. Okay, so cut it over there, make the holes over here. It's funny, it looks identical, but it isn't. So let's see how close we can get this time. All right, and then put our contraband piece of other plate on top. And try not to move it. We don't have a magnetic plate yet, thus the fuss. And I could use washi tape. I just don't happen to have any right now. Downstairs with me in my little studio. Let's just move that ever so slightly. All right. Nope, I'm not happy. It has to be like at the edge, not over it, because if it goes over it, we're not going to get a cut there, and that won't be nice. Okay, stop moving. I'll just move the paper. There we go. I don't usually do that, FYI. I don't recommend it. My goodness. I just took a look at the screen, and my goodness, my camera's low tonight. Oh, here comes that ugly noise again. Sorry. Oh, my goodness. Like I said, I don't normally do it this way, and sorry for all the jiggling of the lights and such. It's just not the good way to do it. Okay, but this is... there we go. Okay, and because of my design flaw, I have to do this again. So I may end up cutting this side, which is why that measurement's not going to stand. This time, thank goodness, I can put the paper through, or the die through this one. It won't make that big ugly noise. I don't know that that's not really the kind of thing you want to do too often, but I don't think it's hurting it. And still poking out the holes, poking out the little doodads. Poke, poke. I know comments are a bit behind, so. Now, if you care to share this while we're live, that would be awesome. I do that. I watch a live sale of a friend of mine who has a shop in Preston, Cambridge, Redwind Studios, and I try every week to share it live. Sometimes I'm a little bit late. Okay, cutting edge. We don't want all those little dots. Cutting edge over here. And I don't want the exact same curve as last time, so I may maneuver it just a little bit. It'll be slightly different, but it has to work. Okay, one more time. Cutting edge is over there. Always check. Now you'll see the difference in the noise this makes, in that there's not going to be the big noise. How nice is that? That's the way it should sound. There we go. Believe it or not, we're not done with the machine, but I am going to move it aside. You also get, from my messed up piece, you could use that. I don't know for what, but you could use it. In other words, I would save that. All right, let's set that aside for now. One thing that I did have to shovel today was the stairs. I'm in a raised bungalow, and the stairs were horrendous. And I may or may not have kind of hurt my shoulder a little bit. So I'm not entirely happy with that. All right. So now my other piece, which you haven't seen yet, it's going to go as well. So I'm going to take, I kind of like it like that. It's kind of cute. I love the movement. So I'm going to take, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch off, give or take. Hey, Sandy, welcome. All right, so 1/8 of an inch. We don't want to go too far. I can always take more, right? All right, let's see how that looks. Yep, alrighty. So then what I have is, here's our DSP. So this is the side that's on the card, and here's the floral side. So this one we're making floral. So this one piece is going to go inside right here. Looks like I may have to trim the end just a little bit. Someone's measurement was off. And then this one will go here. So this one here, I should tell you, is 1 inch wide by 5.5 long. Again, we'll check that. And then this one is starting at 2 3/4 by 5.5. I just need to make sure that I have enough room for the balloons. And I have to think about that. That's a little tight, so I'm going to take off a little bit. So that's like 1/8 of an inch. All right. I will be happy with that and that. And I just want to check top to bottom. Yeah, they're both a little bit long. So while we're here, ever so slightly, like it's ridiculous how small that it's off. I have to use my scissors. Nope. Alrighty, and just a wee tiny bit off this. Oh, I just did it the wrong way. I almost did it the wrong way. My goodness. Don't do that. Wee tiny sliver off that one as well. You can always, after the video, or after you've done making your card, you can always adjust it again, so it's no biggie. If you have to cut a little bit with your scissors, that's okay. All right, so let's get putting some pieces together, and then we'll continue on with the real cool part. I know you're like, when are you getting to the cool part? Well, soon. Soon. All right. I do want to leave a tiny little edge there. Thank goodness for wiggle time. Up. 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 Okay. There we go. Just a tiniest little, I don't even know if that's a 1/16 of an inch. It's really, really, really small. Hey, Dab, no worries. We're making a pretty card, and we're just getting through the base of the card. And then we get to do the, oh no, did you see what I just did? I just turned it upside down. Now, the good thing is that I have a rag right beside me. I really don't want to glue up my table. Not particularly, not while we're cut making. Alrighty, and leave an ever so tiny edge right there as well. This one might need another little snip after. No worries. Okay, and then we'll put this one on here. Cool. I think, nope, you know what I'm going to do? We're going to stamp first. I'd like to have it handy. So there's my little balloon. Like, how cute is that? There's my fingernail, so you can see how small that is. And memento. Let's move some of the little cruddy bits away. All these little dots. Okay, so am I ahead of myself? I am ahead of myself. No, can't do that right now. My bad. We're gonna do that cool technique first. All right, so for that, I need the Stamparatus. And nice, clean. And it doesn't matter that if this is upside down, no worries. And I noticed it already made some ink, and somebody thought she cleaned her stamp really well. The one thing I don't want is to have my paper move. Okay, we do not want the paper to move because we have to do this twice. What? Ink. We're going to use Just Jade Remember, these are the newer style, and they open like a compact. And do I have it handy? I do. Now, what I found when I did my original was that, you know what? There's a spot on there, and I'm not sure if that's related to it. So I'm going to flip it over. Flipping it over. All I want to do, we're going to die cut, and that's why I want to make sure that that's in a good spot. I think it is. Might just move this over. So what you would normally do when you're doing this, and I'll just do it here, is you would put your stamp down. Now, because this is the red rubber, I don't need, there's a foam mat that goes under here, but I don't need that. I don't need that extra cushion. You do if you're using the photopolymer. There we go. So I've picked up the stamp on the plate, and then I'm going to ink it up with Just Jade. The cool thing about the Stamparatus is if you don't, I'll just do it really lightly. If you don't get exactly what you're looking for, you can stamp it again. Now I notice over here, somebody forgot. This is okay. One little trick I forgot to tell you about. What? If you are like me, we're getting a new piece of paper. Oh, that's not in the right spot. Because that has ink on it already, I'm just going to move the paper up. Well, that's 2 oopsies in one video. Let's see if we can go for a record. I'm joking, of course. All right, so when I inked it up and forgot to look, and if you look right here, there's a little bit of ink that got on the red rubber, and I don't want that. I don't want a halo on it. So some people do it like this. I would prefer just to lay it flat, and I'm not pushing hard. I'm just tapping a bunch of times, and I do apologize for the glare. So now I've looked at it and I can see that I have color over here. So I'm going to take some of that off. And if it's not perfect, we'll live with it this time because we only have X amount of time we want to sit here. Okay. Okay, so you see how it didn't stamp on that side? So all you do, that's the kind of thing you want to see when you're doing this, when you're demonstrating it. If it doesn't work right the first time, don't move your paper. Do not move your paper. You are going to stamp, ink it up again and stamp it again, which is perfect if you have any issues with getting your stamping just perfect. Don't worry about it. Your Stamparatus will take care of it for you. Okay, I think we got all the stuff. So this time I'm going to press in all the places. And I'm not pressing like super duper hard. And I missed again. Alrighty. We can just keep inking. We can just keep inking. All right. And then, see, once you've done this a few times, you're more likely to press harder with your ink pad. And I would just rather not have the ink halo. Alrighty. Although, if you do get a little bit of a dab here or there, don't worry about it because you know what? We're getting closer to getting that side. You can embellish, which is what I did on one of mine. Oh, yep. A Q-tip would work as well. I don't want the fuzzies from it, though. Okay. Oh, I still see some. This is where, you know, take your time. It's not a race. And we'll just do it until we get it. How you doing? Much better. Push down on the P just a little bit more. So close. Why are you not perfect? It's just like, you know, it will be eventually. And then I'll show you a trick. Hey, Julie, welcome. We're using the Stamparatus right now, and I think I've stamped it, I don't know, ladies, how many times? 5? And really, on my test run, I kept getting a halo and I didn't want it. So that's why I really, really, really don't want to have a halo on it. Ta-da! I'm going to live with that. Oh, don't worry, Deb. So not so. I know. That's funny. All right, so here's the trick. I'm going to clean this. Don't move your stamp. So I'm taking, look how horrible that looks. This is damp. It's not sopping wet. I squeezed a lot of the water out. I don't want my stamp wet. I mean, not soaking wet. I want it damp, and I want to remove as much of the ink as possible. And then, you know, I always do that just to check. Okay, then we're going to emboss this. We don't have Just Jade embossing powder, so I'm going to do a faux embossing. So you will notice that I'm not using the embossing buddy. I'm not, because I've already inked. So all I'm going to do is ink this up, and hopefully we'll get everything the first try and not too much extra. I see a little extra here and here. All right, and then press it down. If it's not good, we'll do it again. Oh, shoveling. Yeah, I got really warm though, because I thought it was freezing cold out. Okay, so this time I'm going to pick it up. I want to see that it's shiny, and I'm not completely seeing it, because you need something. You're using the Versamark, so the powder will stick, and if you don't have the Versamark on properly, we don't want it sticking down there. Now this you probably, I don't know, you can see any of it. Just a delicate little operation here. Okay, we're gonna live with this one the way it is. Do I store my, okay, that's an excellent question. What I do is I have one of our cases for it. We can purchase these, and I keep it in here, but I leave it open because in a number of places, and I know in the winter in like Canada, we don't really have humidity to speak of, not like in the summer. It will go stinky, and I don't like that. So I keep mine open. It can completely dry out crunchy, and then you just put water on it. Whoop, don't let those two touch. Put water on it, and I'm going to put one of the magnets back here. If you clank these together, they will break. So I just let mine dry out. To finish that story, okay, so now clear embossing powder. Clear. Yeah, mine dries out more often than not, so I pretty well only use it for videos. I have a second one upstairs. Of course I do. Okay, so powder's on. And we'll just put a little bit more. I'm not the type, you know, some people empty out the whole container. I don't see that to be necessary. I have a teeny little bit here. Just put it right back in. So I've had the clear for ages. All right, now it's going to get a little noisy for a couple seconds. First thing I like to do is heat up my tool. Just a little bit, doesn't take long. And then keep your fingers clear and let the magic happen. There we go. So you can emboss in any color. We don't have, if you want to emboss in black, emboss in black. Just use Memento and then do the same procedure. We don't have black or red or any of that, and it doesn't matter anymore. So when I saw this technique, I was like, are you kidding me? This is how I do this, by the way. I want the die to go through, so I just rip the paper. So the die we're using is this one, and it's from Stitch So Sweet. I'm just noticing that I have black ink on my fingers. And Let's see if we can get that to lay flat, reasonably flat. Doesn't appear that way. I will show you that up close. Just going to get her lined up just a little bit better. And then on with our, don't even think about moving. We will live with it. How's that? Yeah. Alrighty. That was easy. I do believe that's the end of our die cutting. Yay. Alrighty. So I'm just going to leave the die on there. Move that aside. My shoulder's really not heavy. It's not that heavy and my shoulder's really annoyed with it. So, and you see that it's shiny? How cool is that? So we have embossed in Just Jade. Alrighty. Now, the reason why I wanted to have that handy is because I need to know where this is going. So when I now do the balloons, I won't be covering them up with this. So I know I can go, well, how far can I go? Yep. Yes, I do have color on. Yeah, I can go all the way over there. So we'll just kind of hold it like that and then stamp. So here's our, I couldn't find my skinny block. You want to really try to use the correct size block. You know what I mean? And the paper underneath, because the bottom balloon is going to be off the page a little bit. So we're trying to make it look like the balloons are floating up. So one right there. How cute is that? And then I don't need it because the other balloons will be on here. But I need this. This stays handy. So let's go here. And then over a bit. I don't want them completely lined up. It doesn't, when it goes more like that, it gives you a more of an illusion of movement. Alrighty. And then we're going to use our blends just a little bit. It's a really small space, as you can see. This is our 8x8, I think so. I have centimeters and I finished school before, 7x7. I finished school before, I just aged myself. I finished school before metric came in. Hard to believe. It was like the year after. All right, so I'm using Just Jade, and I am going to use, even though they're really tiny, I'm going to use the light and the dark. And that's the wrong end. And for the light, I want to use the brush end, not the bullet end, or the pointy end, whatever you want to call it. I'm very light with my blends, very, very light. And I'll try to keep it to this side so you can actually see what I'm doing. One thing you want to remember, and like, I'm not an artist, but is where's the sun coming from? So I'm going to pretend that the light, the sun is coming from this side, and I'm going to leave a little space over here. If I need to go back, I can. No biggie. So if I was to describe how I use my blends, it would be with like a featherlight touch. For this one, I am going to use the other end because I just want to make a little line right there. Forgot to do the bottom part. I will do that. And then what I'm going to do is blend it into the rest. Now, I know some people start with dark. Some people start with light. I start with light when I'm blending. All right, so we'll just come over here. We're still trying to keep our light area light, a little smaller perhaps. And I recently heard, I forget what video it was, but the person said that they wanted to wait and let the ink dry and then do the next color. I don't, I just go for it. Oh, I want the bullet end here because I just want to make, that's so tiny. And because my eyes are still giving me a little issue, have to be careful with that. Now, they're not done because we have to use Wink of Stella because it just makes things sparkle and shine and look pretty. So, and I am going to do the entire, wow, we could try to stay in the lines. This one's really coming out fast. Maybe because I shook it. I didn't squeeze the ballast because it looks like there's lots in here. And then one over here. And I don't know if you can see the sparkle, but it's sparkly. Just a nice little sparkly, not like crazy. Not crazy sparkly. Okay. And I threw the base of the card aside. So let's get it back. Alrighty, so now we can do some assembly. Oh, that's so cute. Alrighty. This is, well, now I can show you. This is why. There's my, and I didn't realize till after I'd made the card, I'm like, of course it's going to go through, you know, it is going to go through. It is a happy Tuesday, you know. I think every day's good though. Every day's happy. If you want to use other adhesives, go for it. Like I said, I like the Tombow because I get my wiggle time. Alrighty. And we often need our wiggle time, don't we? I definitely need my wiggle time. And I make use of it. All right, down we go. We are almost done. That's cute. All right, so I decided that this looked a little plain, even with this being embossed. So I just used my largest layering circle die and cut it. Now I remember why I wanted, okay, I just remember now why I wanted my Stampin' seal. I'm going to put that right there. So because I'm putting this on top, you're not going to see this. I can just get a little bit messy with it. If you feel better, use your Stampin' seal. You could also hold this down using a dimensional. Not a dimensional. No, I meant glue dot. You know, the other thing. All right, but now I need dimensionals because we're going to pop that up. This just diffuses it just ever so slightly, and I just thought it gave a softness to the card, which I rather like. I did think about ribbon. I did really, and decided against it. I know that's unusual, but for me, but there you have it. Let's see. Alrighty. I'm going to try this again. I was watching other demonstrators do this, and it's definitely, if you're going to use take your pick tool, use it on an angle. Oh, I was going to say, I'm totally going to rip that to shreds, and it will pick it up. Or use your fingernails. But your take your pick tool is useful for so many things. Actually, I have one trick that I use. I have to hold this up for a sec. There we go. Now at the end of the video, you can tell me which one you like better. I do want to mostly center this on the circle. Not done yet, because on the original, which again I've tossed aside, I made these teeny tiny little bows. Like, how cute are those? So we need 3. I've made 2 of them already. So whether you use bunny ears, I think for this bunny ears work just fine. I don't cut it till I'm done. Bunny ears, put it through, find that teeny little loop. If you have to start bigger, start bigger. You can always do what I'm doing, because you almost always end up pulling these little ends anyway. And getting your bow to be teeny tiny. Teeny tiny. Look how cute is that? Adorable. Scissors. Yes. So these are the Stampin', the snips, and they are sharp. So you do want to be careful. Now, if I need to trim these little ends, I will do that once they're on. Here's the other 2. 1, 2, which have really long ends. So close. Alrighty, so we're almost done. We still have the inside, of course, but I'm curious because this is the front and back of the same paper. Do you have a preference? I know this is different, so it's not really, you know, apples to apples, but anyway. Okay, so now this bow is so tiny. If you look at the size of that I almost called it dimensional. Look at the size of the glue dot. It's too big, even rolled up. So I am going to do this. Oh, there's one back here. Let's see if we can pick that up. Pick it up. And I'm going to cut it in half. It's on my inky thumb. Don't cut yourself, just cut it. Come to Sandy. Come to Sandy. You can hardly see it, but it's there. Then roll it in your fingers and put it on the back of that little center part right there. Don't roll it too much because you'll take all the sticky out. You know, you like them equally, you like the black. Yep. I have to say, oh, where did you go? Did I lose the sticky? Maybe. I really like this. I just know that when I do my videos, I like to change it up a little bit. Here's the other half. See how tiny that is? Like super tiny. Super tiny. And again, don't roll it too much. You will take the stick out. All the stickiness will be gone. And I will trim up those ends because they're too long. But like just so cute. Okay, and I can use my fingernails just to grab this. You know what, Lorraine? I agree with you. Dots for males, flowers for women. Or go the opposite. It's whatever you prefer. But yeah, that's not a bad idea. Oh, I made a masculine and a feminine card. I can say it. Okay, there it is. I'm like, what did I do with it? Teeny tiny. Put that on. Now the inside. We've already put our little panel in. Yes, we are going to trim these. So snip, snip. Off you go. That one's sticking up a bit, which it probably will because we're right by the sentiment. And then snip and snip. Now, I'm a right-handed person who's left-handed. That makes sense when I use scissors and such. And these don't seem to hurt my hands either way. You know, sometimes they're molded for generally right, and it doesn't at all. Now, can I find the piece? There it is. Okay. Remember I said we were going to use the happy birthday. So I went ahead and I embossed that exactly like how we did this. Embossed it, and then I used the Stitch So Sweetly dies. These are in the same set. And I am going to pop it up because guess what? This will go through the post. I have never had a card returned to me. Never. Now that's for Canada. I don't know about other countries. I agree, B. You know what? I was like, oh, the flowers. I don't know, because it didn't. I didn't see the same kind of pop of color. Yeah, I don't necessarily want to put this popped up in the exact same spot, and that looks kind of crooked to me, so I may fix that after the video. So I think I'm just going to put it up here. It's very lightly on there right now. Push. Ta-da! Okay, there they are. Whew, that took a while. Oh my goodness, I've been talking for almost 45 minutes. It was a little, you know, if I didn't have to stamp this like, what, 5 times. So there's the difference between the two, that I did use a second layer, thus you can't see that on the inside. The card's still very light because I used the thin weight, not the thick weight. Thank you for all the hearts. That never happens to me. Thank you for all the hearts. There you go. So person, write your message, boom, and you're done. And you can see a little peak on both of them, which I rather like. So my friends, guess what? We are done for tonight. If, you know, I always put all the important links up in the video after I've loaded it to the video to YouTube. Feel free to share the video. I love that. Could you restamp the balloons on the inside? I could. However, I don't, if I color them, this will happen again. In which case I would then want to put a layer right here. So that works. But yeah, I just didn't, you know, it was the afterthought. I was thinking, how could I fix this? You know, could I put another, let's pretend, could I put another piece on the inside? Well, I didn't like the look of that. So my answer was no. Thus there. Thank you. I will see you again. Oh yeah, Portland links will be up in the, I think I said that. I will be live again next Tuesday, as always, Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And stay warm. Hopefully you don't have too much to shovel. Shovel out. And stay warm, stay safe. I'll see you next Tuesday. Bye-bye.